Alright, so before we start, let me have some questions from anyone, if anyone has any questions regarding things we discussed so far. Yes, do I have any questions to answer?
I don't have any question.
Okay, good.
Can you explain constructor again?
Did you happen to see the recording?
Yeah, I saw, but I have some
You
I
still
have
have some
some
doubt.
problem.
You have some doubt.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me what you did not understand in that. Maybe I can help you better. Instead of repeating the whole thing, you let me
It's
know what.
written in.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, go ahead. This is Savita.
No, I'm Vandana.
Okay, Bandana, tell me. Yeah. So what is
Yes.
your question
You
here?
explain a static. In constructor, they are written for 3, 4 methods. But when you are calling in main methods, you are defining everything in that method only for output. So what is the use for which you explain in that program, that class?
Let me get the presentation also. I'll start the Eclipse.
Okay.
Okay. So you are talking about this constructor, right? So what is the use of this constructor you're asking me? Is that correct?
Yes.
Can you repeat your question? I didn't get your question exactly. If you don't mind, please repeat.
You, in a bank account, one method is encapsulation, right? In public static void main. In that method,
There is
you
no public static void main here.
yeah, it's there in encapsulation demo. Last method.
This one? This class, okay, encapsulation demo. Yes, yes.
Yeah, yes. So you already here you already give the pass the parameter
Mm-hmm.
and uh, and when we run it's give the output.
Okay.
But what is the use for bank account class?
Constructor.
Yes,
This
in
constructor,
this
okay.
program.
Fine. So if
Yes.
you think that when I pass the values here, ba dot name, right, equals to something, and uh, similarly ba dot account number. Okay, you are asking we can do that, but why do you want to have another constructor? But if you remember that these things are private. These values are private. All the variables here, name, account number, and balance, these three fields are private in my class, and they are not visible outside the class. You cannot access them here. You see, I'm getting an error when I try to compile it. So there is an error. You cannot access it. For initializing your members or your data, for initializing the instance variables, the constructors are used. Constructors are the best choice for doing that. So that's what I'm doing here. You see, in this constructor I am doing what? I'm initializing the state of the object. I'm initializing the data. Account number equals to, I'm taking a field from the method, I'm taking data from method call, and this data when I'm passing it to these parameters, and they will be initialized. So what happens when this object is created is it will allocate this account number to this field and balance to this field. Alright, and your object will have some meaningful data. When the object gets initialized, it will have its own data. So if you have more than one constructor, if you have to have more than one object, whenever you instantiate the object, you can pass some data to it so that the object has meaningful data. So that is the whole use of constructors. As we discussed in our discussions, constructor is called whenever the instance of a new class is created, and it is used to initialize instance variables for an object. That is the whole use of constructors. It is used to initialize the instance variables. That's it. Alright. So if you have any instance variables which are private, you will use constructors to initialize them. So in our example, we had these things as private. Name, account number, balance are private. You cannot access them outside the class. So the best way to initialize them is using constructors. Alright. And constructors are called whenever you create the object. When you say new bank account, you are calling the constructor only. Alright. So did I answer your question, or you have any more doubt on that?
Yeah, it's now answered.
Yeah, fine, okay. Alright, any more questions from anyone? Alright, so continuing the same discussion on constructors, we have seen that we can overload constructors. And you can initialize the object in more than one ways. You can pass, sorry. So you can pass multiple parameters. In our example, we have used one constructor which is taking 2 arguments and another constructor which is taking 3 arguments. So you can do that kind of things. So there you see in this example, we are overloading constructor. One constructor takes 2 parameters and another constructor takes 3 parameters. So we are overloading constructor. Similarly, in Java, methods, what you have, methods can also be overloaded. You can have same method with the same method name with different parameter, number or type or order. So if any of these 3 things changes, your method can be overloaded. Right, you got the point. Let's have a demo of this. Let me give an example of this thing. Maybe I'll have demo. Let's assume a simple class demo. I want to add a method which takes 2 numbers and gives me, I want to have a method called add which takes two numbers, int a and int b, right, and it adds them and returns a value integer. Return int a plus b I want to return. Alright, for this point I want to have one add method which takes 2 integers a and b and performs an addition and returns a plus b. Alright, and I want to have another add method which does the similar thing, but it takes 3 parameters. It takes int a, b and c and returns c. This is possible. You see, I can use the same add method, the name is same, but number of parameters are changing. Similarly, I can have another add method which returns float. It takes integer a maybe plus float b. Alright, and I want to have another add method which takes float a, float b. You're getting the point? I want to have one add method, in fact more than one add method with the same name. Nothing changes but except the number of parameters or type of parameters. Here you see you have two parameters. Here I have three parameters, but three are integers. Here I have two parameters, but one is float, and here it is one int. So there is a change in the type of parameters. And if I take this as int a, sorry, this I'll take as float and this I'll take as int. Still it is valid. So the just now in this case just the order is changing. Okay. Number of parameters change, and here I have type of parameter, and here I have order of parameter. It's a changing, makes sense. You're getting me? So this is how I perform the addition. Now let me have the main method, which, so I have to instantiate demo d equals to new demo. Alright, and I'll say d dot add, and if I pass two integers, fine, I'll simply say println. This method will be called the first method. Let me write simple print statement so that you understand which method is called. First method is called. Right. When I say this, I'll say second is called, and I put here third is called, fourth method is called. Fine. So let me run this. Which one is called? First method is called, 30 is written because these are two integers passed. Add 10, 20. And if I now call, if I pass three integers, which one will be called? Second method will be called. And if I pass one integer and one float, alright, so third will be called. The name of the method is not changing, just the parameter is changing. And if I call this fourth is called. Fine. So this is overloading of methods. And in Java it is possible to define two or more methods with the same within the same class with the same name. I have those methods within the same class with the same name. Their parameter declaration are different either by the following: number of parameters, type of parameters, and order of parameters. If any of these three things changes, any of these three things is changing, it is a valid overloading method. Right? The methods are said to be overloaded. This process is referred as method overloading. Alright. You will have packages used in your applications a lot, because packages are used to bundle group of related classes and interfaces into packages. You can actually segregate or separate your code into different namespaces by using packages. Packages are used to make the types easier to find and use. You can create a type, you can create a class, interface, uh, and you can distinguish them by packages. You can avoid naming conflicts. Right. So far we haven't used packages in our examples, but we'll now understand what packages are and what the use is. Okay. So packages, in simple terms, you can understand that as folders, as directories in your operating system. Just like you have directories in your operating system to separate files and folders and arrange them in the way you like. Similarly, packages are used to separate and arrange your classes and interfaces in your application as per your requirements. In Java itself, you have plenty of packages used. If you remember, we have seen the documentation of Java earlier. If you remember this, we had seen this documentation earlier. In this documentation, there are several classes and interfaces. Uh, there are several classes and interfaces which can be separated. Okay, give me a second. I got a message. Just hang on for a second. I'm replying to a message. Hmm. Alright, so have a look at this documentation. Over here we have several packages. If you just notice this is package. On the top left we have several packages. If you scroll down, you have almost 100 plus packages, and if you require to understand about any specific package, you will just click on that package. For example, let me take java.sql, and if I click on this, I will get the information of this package. This package provides all the classes and interfaces related to Java database. So you can access database using this package. Hello, can you guys hear me?